Welcome to this episode of What Matters. And today I am here with Miss Roushelle Reign.
Hello.
And I am really thrilled to have Roushelle here. She is one of my girl crushes from the internet, and today is the first day I'm meeting her. But I can tell already the vibe is good and it's strong, and I am as delighted with her in person as I am with her online. Now, Roushelle is a creative director. She's a brand strategist. How I got to know about her was through seeing her branding online. And I didn't always know it was her. Sometimes I would just see something and be like, wow, this is amazing. And then when I'd inquire, her name would come up. I looked her up, and I found out a lot more about her. One of the things that is near and dear to Roushelle's heart is the Miss Legacy Pageant, which is held in Jamaica, which I found was amazing. But what really, really impresses me about her, aside from the fact that she's beautiful and she's smart and she's articulate and professional and cultured and all about the culture, she really represents. And that's something that I love. Mm-hmm. You will hear her fall into her Jamaican lilt and, talk her talk, but she always comes off as polished and professional and fun. But the thing about Roushelle that impresses me the most, which a lot of it I discovered very recently, is her dedication to helping other people grow. And to me, that is tremendous. Your work, what you do in the community, speaks so much more about you than just your job or your loves and your passions. Helping other is something that resonates with me deeply. So Roushelle, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so thrilled to have you here. So tell me a bit, because we don't have all that time for you to list every. But tell me a bit about you. What do you do now? And then tell me, how did you get here?
Okay, so my everyday life, I am a creative concierge. I do everything from brand development, brand strategy, brand design, and right into your websites.
Right.
So then sometimes people or clients, they're having an event, and they need someone to just really be creative and really put through a different experience. That's where I come in.
Yes.
So I can take your brand and actually give you an experience. And so a brand is not just something that is given or seen. It has to be something that's felt.
Okay, get a pen, because I hear the word branding all the time. This is what I love, because I remember when she explained it to me, it was one of those clarity moments, because people are always talking brand, you're your brand. And after a while you start, okay, so like my logo and like
everybody
my colors,
thinks it's the logo, and that's a problem. That's a problem. Everybody thinks
so
your brand starts and ends at your logo. It really doesn't. Okay. That's just a deliverable in the middle. You know what I mean?
So where would you say your brand starts?
Your brand starts from within. To be real, your brand starts from within. Like, if you don't know what you stand for, if you don't know your core values, then you can't build something. If you don't have a vision, then you can't have a visual. You know what I mean? So it's all about strategy. It's all about taking your business strategy and putting it into a brand strategy and actually developing branded visuals. So it's not just, I'm going to make a logo and it's going to have yellow and pink on it.
Right. It
doesn't work that way, because what is it really saying? Like, what is it communicating? Whether visually or by words or by vibe or by feel, like something's missing. Something's always going to be missing if it's just built on air.
On air, exactly. So if you pick some colors in a nice shape, but you don't have a mission, or you don't have a vision.
The foundation.
The foundation.
Yeah.
And so that's what your brand does, is it tells your story.
Yeah.
And so if you don't have a story, you can't effectively,
there's nothing
you can't effectively brand yourself. And so you do branding, but then the other major thing in your life,
I am a pageant fanatic. So it really stems from me loving modeling, and I'm great at it. And I went into pageantry a couple of years ago. I won Miss Canada Petite, and from
Can we see the picture of her winning?
And then from there, I just kind of continue to groom and train other young women. And then I created my own, because I saw where the gap was in the industry, and the fact that we as women were really being overlooked, especially women of color and people who are just really brilliant and talented. They were just being overlooked for the typical pageant patty, and I didn't want to see that anymore. So I developed a platform where, oh my God, that's so long ago. I develop a platform where we can celebrate trailblazers and women in business and corporate women and all these different type of women who feel like the everyday beauty is not enough. Like, I want to celebrate the everyday beauty. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I guess that's why Miss Legacy came about.
That is amazing. So you went from being a pageant contestant and winner, the 2012 Miss Canada Petite.
Yep.
And then you said, well, and again, this is what I love about her and her fire. She's like, I like that. I'll just do it.
Yeah. Another one.
Another one. And so tell us, and I see there's now the Miss Legacy Scholarship Fund.
So what I've done is I've turned the Miss Legacy Scholarship Fund into the Crown Confidence Workshop.
Right.
So Crown Confidence is really our core initiative. And right now we have to split it in two. So we have to split it for under 18, under 16 thereabout, and we take the qualities of pageantry and we train these young girls, whether it's an hour, whether it's a day. I just did one on Saturday with Roots and Branches dance program in Scarborough.
Okay.
And all the girls got their heels on and they were thinking about their posture, their presence, because at the end of the day, a lot of things that you learn in pageantry will always overflow into the other aspects of your life. And because in recent times as well, I've trained a couple of teens and they just kept telling me, Miss Reign, like the things you taught me, I could apply to school and I could apply to track and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, when I'm really making more of a difference within than I'm just making on the stage, or
Exactly.
I'm just saying, oh, I'm a pageant trainer. So we took into consideration what the actual outreach was doing, and then we just split it into two. And now I have the Crown Confidence Workshop it's more of a brunch coming up on the 24th of February. And that's going to be at the living room in Dixie Outlet Mall. That nice. Ooh, the venue is so lovely. So chic. And then we have another one in Florida, like a week or two after. And then we go into the Miss Legacy International Pageant in Jamaica. So it's like a domino effect.
That is amazing. And, that's something now. There are a lot of people who think pageants, it's just about how you look, and standing up and giving those really awful answers I've heard, like, for Miss America, how would you like to change the world? Well, like,
world peace,
and I'd like everybody to be happy inside. And don't laugh at me. It's the truth. You see the most, it's just such a bad representation, I find. But then looking into Miss Legacy and reading your words and hearing some of your previous interviews and so forth, and what you're looking to instill in these women. And like you said, you kind of realize through the back end, wait, these are life skills.
Yeah, because even things from pageantry, and a lot of my clients don't even realize, but some do. The ones that do realize it would say, Roushelle, you're so hard on me. But I take things from pageantry and put it into my actual branding consultation. So when I see my clients and they're not doing certain things, they're not using certain words, they're not looking a certain way like their actual brand, I'll text you. I'll call you out. I call you out all the time.
Yeah,
like, I'm always watching them, because at the end of the day, as I said, your brand does not stop with just your logo. It is everything.
From the moment you speak.
Exactly. From the moment you step into a room to greet other business owners, to greet your customers and clients, that's your brand.
100%. So it is the experience. And with that idea of, you say you take that into your consultations and you, I don't know if that's hard or if that's just reinforcement, right? Just very, very strong reinforcement that you got to, maintain your brand. But something else that I absolutely loved about looking at your website, and that would be RouchelleReign.com, is that your wording. I'm a lover of language. I adore the English language and all the different words that can be used. And, reading your website was so delightful. Like, just, the bespoke. And there was, and I really had to Google like 2 or 3 of those words. Because I had a feeling I knew what they meant, but I wanted to be sure.
You wanted to be specific.
And that is it. Your language is very specific. You create an image, even with just your words. And that is part of the Roushelle Reign brand, right? Absolutely. So you are originally from Jamaica.
Yeah, born and raised.
Born and raised. So
Yeah,
how old were you when you came to Canada?
I was 16.
You were 16. And how do you feel about it? How do you like it?
At first, I was just like, a woman would I really care, my girl. Especially after the first winter, the first Christmas away from home, I was really bawling. Like, I was like, at least I'm really coming so far. But then at the end of the day, you get to realize and you get to start to appreciate what it is that you came to, what would you say, experience. You know what I mean? The things that you would see, things that you would learn. And when I came here, yes, it did change how my life was situated, but I still went right back into dance. I think maybe the first week of school, I met Tamla Matthews, and from then, I haven't stopped dancing with her. So I went right back into that regular routine of school and dance, and that was really just it. So I developed a sense of home here as well, and I'm really appreciative for the move. I think I've grown a lot, but at the same time, like, my heart is
your
Jamaica.
heart, your soul, and you rep it well, and that's something that I really love. That a lot of people that of Caribbean descent, I don't think it's just Caribbeans. I think there's a lot of people from other countries that feel that in order to really rise in their industry, and you gotta kind of just exactly shake it off. But she put it front and center.
It is front and center. If you not like it, then I'm gonna know what I gotta do.
This is one of the things I love about you. And you spoke about your first pageant, and you said, like, you made sure you repped Jamaica in everything that you did. We're getting the wave, so we're gonna go for a break. And when we come back, we will have more of Miss Roushelle Reign.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Welcome to Shadow Auto.
Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I am here with branding specialist, pageantry fanatic, and founder of the Miss Legacy Pageant in Jamaica, Roushelle Reign.
Hello.
It's so nice to have you here, Roushelle. So before the break, we were talking a bit about Roushelle's coming to Canada and how she got here, what she does, what she's about, and she clarified branding for us. And anybody out there that's in business or considering business, that is a concept that you really need to get down, right, is branding. And I know for a long time, as long as I've been an entrepreneur for a very long time, but the whole branding thing to me was like you said, like a logo. It's just a logo. Like, you get a logo and you splash it everywhere, and then everybody knows who you are. And then I realized that it goes so much deeper than that.
Yeah, because even right now, I don't even use my own logo that much. Unless I'm stamping something, because I designed my logo to look like a stamp.
Yes.
So unless I'm stamping something, I don't even use it.
Yeah, because you are your brand.
And it's transcended through everything.
So if you look at Roushelle online, everything from her blog, her websites, everything she touches has a certain feel to it. And you had to figure out what feeling you are trying to impart
what's
to
your
people.
signature?
What's your signature? And then have that flow throughout. So I really thank you for that, because that's really valuable information. And she could be one of the people that will charge you a lot of money. And there are many others that will charge you to help you figure that out. But your consulting services, your branding services, and as you said, you do websites, you do events, and I'm excited for the event on the 24th because I'm coming, and again, it's an experience. You get to have a whole experience. So Roushelle, tell us a bit more about your journey from, because you got to Canada when you were 16, and you were a trained dancer, right?
Yep, since I was about 3.
Since you were about 3. So what kinds of dance do you do? Everything.
The only thing I don't do is hip hop.
Okay.
I have done everything from ballet to African to Caribbean, traditional Caribbean, and of course, New Age Caribbean, a dancehall and a reggae and stuff like that. But I really, really love traditional Caribbean and African.
Okay, so you are a trained dancer, and I'm sure that had a real impact on your pageantry skills.
Oh yeah.
Your poise, your stance, everything, right?
Like I always tell this story. People think that being on stage is easy, but it's not. We had to stand there for about an hour in our gowns and heels, and a young girl fainted around the back. Like people were just like really couldn't handle it, especially because you're on stage and all that heat from the lights and everything, all that pressure from people watching you. I had to stand still. I can hear in my head like Bakari would say, like, back straight,
yeah.
like, yeah, okay.
And that and that really helped you. And there's as a side note, there's something interesting, because in listening to you speak about what you like to do and how you like to actually spend your time, Roushelle, as you can see, is very bubbly. She's very energetic. She is that light that comes into the room, but she likes to read lots and lots and lots of books.
A lot.
And basically stay home. As much as she likes to dance, she'd rather dance at home in the living room. And so what I figured out, because this is something I thought about myself, I figured because I love people and I love to talk and I love to be places, that I was an extrovert. But what I really am is an introvert.
I'm an introvert.
I'm a very social introvert.
Yep.
And that is what, as I was listening to you, I'm like, this girl is an introvert.
Yep.
And really what that means is not that you're shy or you don't like to do things, but the party's in your head.
Yeah.
The party is in your head. You can entertain yourself fully with no company, 90% of the time, 99% of the time, whereas extroverts need that external stimulation to feel, like
there's always something
going
through my head. I'm good with being alone for like months, just in the house. In December, I probably left my house once.
Right?
Before and after I went to Hawaii. In November, it's probably the same. Like, that's just me. I just like my own isolation. I like my own vibe, my own essence, my own aura. Like, I love that. And once you can be okay with yourself, then you can be okay with anybody, really and truly. But you have to always like look into yourself and be like, do I really need to be outside all the time? Do I really need to be interactive all the time? Because it's draining at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, my mom can be like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be so drained after she comes off the phone, and she just laughs because she's like, I don't get it, you run a business. I'm like, yeah, but they need to schedule a call, because it's sometimes it's really draining, because I'm such an introvert, but my attitude and my ambiance is so like, bubbly and everything, so people don't think I'm an introvert.
Yes, and I really understand that, because that's something I've come to understand recently, and also too because you give, like when you really are giving, when you consult, when you do your pageantries and so forth, and so that ends up being quite draining. Yeah, because you truly are giving of yourself and pouring into other people. Yep. So you have to step back and recharge and get into your own thoughts. So that's something that I really appreciate, and something I recognized in you as I was listening to you. So hold on, just give us just 1 second. We just had a little technical difficulty there. So now when you got here, you went right back into dance. Yeah. What led you to say, let me go for Miss Petite Canada?
I was looking for a job at the time when I was looking for a job, and I just bucked up on a posting, and I think it was on Kijiji, and I was saying to my friend, I was like, oh my God, this looks so good. I always wanted to be Miss Jamaica World, actually. So I wanted to follow in the footsteps of Lisa Hanna. So I still want to be in the Ministry of Culture and Youth and Culture, but I don't like politics, right?
Right.
But that's what I wanted to be, and I was like, maybe this is a way, maybe this is a path, because just like how I moved here and then the path kind of changed, I have to find a new way to that goal. I have to find a new way. I love the stage. Like, the stage is my life. Just send me on the stage and I'm good. You know what I mean? But I feel like when I saw the posting, it was my calling in a sense. Not to be cliche, but it was kind of my calling. I was like, maybe I should, but I was still scared. Don't get me wrong. I'm always scared. I was scared before I even came on here. I'm always scared.
Right.
But at the end of the day, I just pushed through.
You just pushed through.
I just pushed through.
And I that really resonates with me because oftentimes people think that I'm not afraid. And again, I go up with my knees knocking on my skirt, and I'm sweating, and I'm listening to myself, and I'm surprised I'm not stuttering. And then people are like, "Wow, you did so good." I'm like, "Thank goodness."
Yeah, you don't even know.
You don't even know what happened behind there. And so that idea, and that's something that you're very inspirational, and that's
Thank you.
Why I really wanted you here to speak.
And I didn't know that. I really didn't know.
You didn't know you were
inspirational?
inspirational?
I didn't know that.
Well, you are.
I didn't know that. I asked a couple of weeks ago. I asked a young girl Paige, Peace. I said to her, I was like, okay, show me who is your inspiration, and I can help you brand yourself and stuff like that. And she goes, Miss Reign, you. I'm like, huh? What are you talking about?
And I think that when you aren't inside of your own, when you're not listening to your own press, that will go right over your head, how inspirational you are, because you're just out there doing it.
Yeah, I'm
just
and
trying.
wanting
to, and trying. And so in that fact that, as I said, you're very inspirational, and that's something that I really want to impart to the audience today, is that idea of purpose. She kept going. You weren't exactly sure because your path changed. I mean, you leave a country to go to another one to live. Your path has changed, but you kept moving. Yeah. You got back into dance, which is something you knew and you loved, but you kept moving. And then in looking for a job, you found this Kijiji and you said, wait, maybe this is it. Maybe this is my calling. So for those out there that are, finding your purpose, which is the next thing I'm hitting you up with, so you're going to have to think about that one. Finding your purpose is often found as you're moving. Yeah. Don't sit and wait for your purpose to come to you. You've got to be on a path. You've got to be moving your feet, and don't fear it'll be the wrong direction, because all experiences,
you will bounce back where you need to go either way.
Exactly. And it just adds to your knowledge, right?
Yeah, it does.
Doing things that really weren't intended for you, then you're like, yeah, this is really, really
you have to try in order to learn, in order to grow. And like, even with the whole purpose thing, if you feel like you can, if I feel like I can wake up tomorrow morning and not do branding and not do pageants, I've thought of giving up on pageants, because it's not easy. I've thought of giving up on pageants. I've thought of, you know what, I don't want to do all this creative stuff anymore. I just want a regular time. There was a time when I did that. I gave up on my graphic design, and I was just like, this is not me. I need to find something else. But I went right back into it. The thing was, during that process of doing graphic design, I realized that I didn't want to be a graphic designer. No. I didn't want to be a graphic designer. Even right now, nobody can call me a graphic designer. I don't go by that title. Right. I want to be a brand specialist. So there's like graphic design, and then there's like branding in there. So it is like, when you go through experiences, you learn to curtail what's for you. You learn to like pick things away. Like when you're picking the rose and you're like, oh, she loves me, she loves me not.
Yeah, I love this not.
Yeah, I love this, I love this. No. Like, that's how I came down to what I'm doing right now.
So you boiled it down.
I boiled everything down to be very specific.
Right, and that's something you will notice, is she's very specific about what
everything
services
is intentional.
She provides. It's
that's my word for 2019.
Intentional. I love it. When we come back from this break, before I get the wave, we're going to find out more about Roushelle's inspirations and where she's going next, all the wonderful things she has in store for us. We'll be right back after this break.
Hello, my name is Anisha, and I'm the production manager of TCN Network. Have you ever wanted to host your own show? Do you have a message to share? Well, you're in luck. We are looking for dynamic and unique individuals to host their own shows. We are seeking people who are committed, motivated, and energetic. Do you want to be the next Jimmy Fallon, Ellen DeGeneres, or Shane and Ryan from BuzzFeed Unsolved? Start Start here. Fill out the Propose to Show form on mytcntv.com. We're here to educate, support, and build the community. Can you lead by example? Go the extra mile and seek knowledge? Are you humble, disciplined, responsible, selfless, and enthusiastic? Those are our core values. And if you identify with them, you could be part of a growing network that focuses on positivity and uplifting our community. We can't wait for you to join us on TCN Network and hope to hear from you soon.
Welcome back. She's really funny. So during the break, I was speaking to Roushelle about, her journey to where she's gotten and how she's done it. And she said something really, really interesting. So when you look at her branding of herself and the things that she does, everything looks really high end, very high budget, just absolutely amazing. Mm-hmm. And she just said something that really astounded me. And that was, she's never, ever, ever taken a business loan.
No. I don't believe in borrowing from somebody to build your own stuff. You should build your own stuff. I don't believe in it.
Wow.
It's okay for other people, especially when you have products and stuff like that. I get it, but not for me.
But not for you. So how did you fund these projects? You have a pageant, you have a consultation service.
Okay, the pageant takes a whole lot of money. First off, so everything from Roushelle Reign, as in the actual branding and website business, mm-hmm. I fund right into the pageant.
Okay.
That's where we get most of everything from. Right now, we're having a little help here and there, but nothing is still fully concrete at the same time. And I do appreciate everybody that has put their hand in to be like, okay, you know what, we're going to give you a discount at this. We're going to help you out here. We're going to use our contacts there. But at the end of the day, the capital comes from my pocket.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, would your pageant then be considered a non-profit?
Some pageants can be considered non-for-profit. Mm-hmm. The thing with my pageant is that I didn't have an income generator. Okay. Well, now we do.
Okay.
So with the help of Roushelle, the other Roushelle, we kind of, formulated and created an income generation, which is the Crown Confidence Workshop.
Amazing.
So I like to keep everything in-house. I like to keep everything intentional, in alignment with what we're doing. So if it's not purposeful, then there's no reason to be doing it.
Yes, and that's a really important message, I think, too, mm-hmm. is to be intentional in what you do. Don't mm-hmm. just do things. And keep it in alignment. Mm-hmm. And sometimes, especially when you're starting out in business, desperation is a feeling that will come over you often. It will happen a lot, that you will feel panicked and desperate. Yeah. Don't give in to it. No. Keep on your path. When something does not serve you, that's something that's been my thing for 2019. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm faced with something or something's presented to me, I look at it and I say, okay, does this serve me? Mm-hmm. And if so, how does it serve me? Yeah. Why am I doing this? And am I doing it to do it? Do I feel pressured? And
does it align with you?
And does it align
My biggest question is,
does it align with what I'm working towards, mm-hmm. what I stand for now? Does it help develop me? And a lot of times the answers will be no. And because there's a possibility or even a guarantee of income or exposure, not all exposure is good. Mm-hmm. Not all exposure is good. And sometimes I do remember you saying in another interview that, you kind of dropped off the map for a bit.
Yeah.
And then you pop back up.
Yeah, I do that a lot. I'm very unpredictable and I love it.
So, don't worry too much about making sure that you're everywhere, that you're seen.
If you're everywhere, you get watered on.
I like that.
What's the authenticity of your brand? You can't catch me everywhere. Right. You know what I mean? Like, everything is not for everybody. And you have to understand that everything is not for you. So maybe because it's working for somebody else doesn't mean it's going to work for you.
And I think that's part of that whole message of mm-hmm. your branding and your message and knowing what you stand for, knowing what you're about. And I saw a really wonderful quote today from a past guest. And she said, when I stopped worrying about my image, what was good for my image, and started, concerning myself with what was good for my soul, everything switched, right? And especially in this age of social media, people are always worried about what it looked like.
I've had that problem too, because it's really hard. I have like this split kind of personality in a sense. So I love the dance hall and the culture and everything, but at the same time I'm this pageant and I'm so finessed and I'm so poised. So I've had a problem to fuse them together, and I'm just finding out.
You had a problem? It don't look like it.
Yeah, yeah. Like I've had a problem. So sometimes my friends would be like, "Okay, just let that. Just let your hair down. You're fine tonight. Just be okay. Just be okay." But I'm like, no, I have to be, poised and proper. But at the end of the day, I'm still poised and proper within and outside. But I love my culture. Like I love my music. I love to just be at the end of the day. So you have to figure out what is your middle ground. If you're not on one side or you're not on the other, then what is your middle ground? So it's been hard for me to figure out where my middle ground is.
And do you feel that you found it?
I feel I found it, but it's just now for me to invite other people to experience it.
Okay. And do you still, the side note, because it's this question in my head, do you still play mass?
No, not anymore.
No? So long ago did you stop?
Maybe about 3 years now.
Really?
Everybody think I was lying when I said I wouldn't play anymore, but yeah. I flew up Miss Legacy International, Leanne. She came last year for mass, and she played because she loves it as well. I love it. I embrace my queens when they want to do cultural things like that. I don't see anything wrong with it. So she came, she enjoyed it. I was there in a nice 2-piece swimsuit, but I wasn't playing.
Right.
I was enjoying my music. I was enjoying whatever, but I wasn't playing because I felt like I was just over Toronto mass in a sense. You know what I mean? But I will definitely go somewhere and play. I want to go to Trinidad and play.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yes.
But you just have to know, like, is it for you anymore? If it's not for you,
Yeah,
I'll still enjoy it.
And being able to let things go as you move on in life, I think that people cling to things because it was something that you identified with at some point. Yeah. And so you really hold on to it.
You can still love it and move on.
Exactly. You could still love it and appreciate it and say, yeah, that's a good time and, be about something else. So have you found, and you kind of just addressed that, have you found that there's been a conflict in being Roushelle, the Jamaican, the person who loves her culture and her people and her food and her music, and being that pageantry? And I feel that with Miss Legacy, you've managed to merge those, and you're letting women, especially women of Caribbean culture, be themselves without feeling that they have to, for want of a better way, whitewash it.
Yeah.
And water it down so that it's presentable.
No, it's presentable once you're at a certain level and you realize that you don't need to be on the ground. You can bust a wine in your heels. You don't need to take off your shoes at any point in time of the whole entire night. But you can enjoy yourself to the fullest. Like, that's how I merge Miss Legacy. When we are there during pageant week, I've brought them to I think it's something Thursdays at one of those clubs, and they enjoyed themselves. I was still watching over.
Yeah, I was just about to say, I'm sure you're watching to make sure that everything.
Like, Miss Reign, can we dance? Yeah, you can dance. That's fine. Because when they saw me dance, they were like, whoa, Miss Reign can dance. Like, she can dance. And I'm like, yeah, enjoy yourself. But at the end of the day, everybody's looking at us because we're enjoying ourselves, but we have this presence. And we have this poise about us. That we're always still together, but at the same time, we're just being free. So there's a balance. There's a huge balance.
So have you found that mentorship, I guess, is a big part of this? Now, was that your intention? Did you go in it with the idea of mentoring young women?
Yes and no.
Okay.
Everybody has this problem with the imposter syndrome. I do too.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. So yes. I do
what
too.
Is
I'm not gonna lie.
Imposter
syndrome is really when you feel like you want to do something, but you feel like you can't do it because you're not good enough to do it, or you didn't do it good. You can't do it good enough, or whatever it is. So I didn't feel like mentorship was really a part of what I needed to do, but I was doing it without even realizing I was doing it. And then when I started to take into consideration what I was doing, so I started to write things down. So I'm like, okay, I do this, I do that, I do this. Would I be okay with not being paid for this for 10 years? Would I do this for free? Would I get up every day and do this? And that's how I started to streamline, like, what Roushelle Reign does, what Miss Legacy does, and how they collaborate together.
Those are some great questions to ask yourself if you're trying to clarify what is your vision and your purpose and your strengths.
Yeah.
And I think that I like that phrase, the imposter syndrome, because it goes into that whole fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
You know, again, oftentimes you've got to move forward before you feel you're ready. If you really feel that you're completely ready and you're totally prepared, you've waited too long. And I think that's a great piece of advice. The idea of launching something when it's perfect will consistently keep you from getting it done.
Yep.
You know, we aim high always, but you got to start moving your feet
forward,
to get it done.
Just try.
Now, I don't know how three segments have gone by with you already, Roushelle. But when we come back, I'm going to put her on the spot, and I'm giving her a few seconds to think about it. I want to know who her inspirations are, and then she's going to tell us about some of the really wonderful things she has planned in our city and actually throughout the world. We'll be back after this break. Welcome back to this edition of What Matters, and I am here with Roushelle Reign, brander extraordinaire. What was the word that you used?
It's a creative concierge.
Creative concierge, okay? The wording with Roushelle is really important because she's very specific in what she does and what her intentions are and what she sets out to do. And I think that is what makes her messaging so clear and your branding so strong. Because even though what you prepare for your clients are all different, there is a thread that runs through them that is Roushelle Reign.
Yeah.
So
even last night, you got a piece of it last night when I said, give everything space to breathe.
So I got like a free lesson from Roushelle when I was preparing our ad for the show. And, you know, she explained to me, and it was a great explanation because it will help me going forward. Like this is something that's in my head now, and I understand the reasoning behind it, and it actually works because I did, and I was like, oh, that does look much better.
You understand that little bit of hierarchy now.
Yes, I understand that a lot. So, you know, I've heard this question asked to you before, and in listening to some of your old interviews, I know that your mom is a huge force, and she has colored a lot of what you do. And you had said on the break, you said, you know, I'm like my mom. I'm very, very much like my mom. And so what your mom is, she's the one you came to Canada with, right?
Yes.
So she's here, and your dad. That's wonderful. And then your Uncle Calvin as well. And I love he's her uncle. And I love the fact that you have that strong family tie and they encourage you and push you through what you do. That is really amazing. Now, who else, and that's something that interests me to know, the people who inspire me, like you, who inspires them? Who do you look at, whether it be in real life or social media wise or industry wise? Who do you look at that inspires you and motivates you?
There's quite a few real life people who they share their stories, and it really inspires me because I do not share anything outside of business. Like, I don't think I've ever shared anything personal. That's just me. So my friend Roushelle, she's amazing with her story. Like, she will just drop gems on you while telling you what has happened to her, like negative things that has happened to her. Bazoma St. John. So she is the marketing and brand god of WMG.
Okay.
That owns Miss Universe and that of Endeavor, because they just changed their name.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I can say about her. She's just the epitome of greatness, really and truly.
Right. Okay.
There's like Pollyanna Rita. Love how she shares her stories. Love how she interacts with her brand, her people, just her entire community, her tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Kike Lola. Amazing, very down to earth. So she's another one who really meshes her hood.
Yes.
You know, that hood
I've
feel.
actually had the pleasure of listening to her
Yes.
speak. I was at an event and I listened to her
It
speak,
draws you
and
in.
it draws you in. And
Down to earth, yeah.
as you said, that ability to share personal tragedy, personal difficulty,
Yeah.
while inspiring and coming across very businesslike.
Yes.
You know,
The sassy professional.
exactly, the sassy, very real, very relatable professional.
Yeah.
You know, so those are some of the ladies that you know. Now, in you know,
Bazoma, I
celebrity
don't know
wise-
Bazoma.
Oh, you don't?
I
Not
wanna
yet.
know- I'm gonna know
No,
her.
not
before
yet.
the
You
end of
don't
the
know
year.
her yet. Okay,
Right.
and when you do meet her, you can play this little clip of what matters for her and say, "See, I had spoken on
told
that
you I'm
in
gonna meet you."
February." So here we are today. So you don't know her, but who else in the industry really inspires you?
In the industry, there's quite a few. There's like the brand stylist from London. She's all the way in London. She's had her business for quite a few years, and she closed it. Only exclusive clients. That's what I want to do. Only exclusive clients, and she mainly just does master classes, retreats, like in little islands off of Spain and stuff like that to build your brand and all that kind of stuff. So it just really puts a lot of inspiration in me and where I want to put my brand and where I want to grow my business. But I really want to be kind of an endeavor. So I own, like, I'm a conglomerate in a sense, and
Yes.
I own events and the main business.
I love
yeah.
the vision. She just has. She knows
The
what
strategy.
she wants, and she has a strategy, and you work towards it every day.
Yeah.
Now coming up, we see, I'm all in it now. I said we have the brunch on the 24th.
Yes.
I'm all in it. So on the 24th, what is the name of the brunch?
It's the Crown to Confidence brunch.
Oh, come on, Erica. Stay with her now.
Everything is online. Everything is very much, yeah.
all aligned.
Yeah.
So the Crown Confidence brunch, and it's being held where again?
It's being held at the Living Room at Dixie Outlet Mall at 12 o'clock. So all on all the websites, there are the links back to the Eventbrite and so on and so forth. Everything will be bursting tonight. We have like Tamar Hudgens. We have Aisha Addo, Aisha K. Francis, Stacey Buchanan, Vivian K. Somebody's missing. Lisa Monet. Oh, I'm missing me.
And so is it, we're eating, because it says
Yeah,
brunch.
we're eating.
So
We're eating.
we're eating very daintily.
Daintily.
Um,
But we're
and-
having real conversations. Like
Okay.
real conversations. Like this, but on a bigger scale.
On a bigger scale. Amazing. And then after this, she has quite a few things coming up.
Then we have the brunch. The same brunch in Florida.
Amazing.
With that, we have the other Roushelle on that one. And we have Nicole, Assassin's Wife. Nicole. We have one of the Marleys. So there's quite a few pieces that are going. And I can't remember everything at the same time. But we have quite a few things going. So you just have to watch out on my Instagram and my Facebook and my websites and stuff like that to really follow up. Even though I'm really bad at marketing. But I'm getting better at it.
Amazing. For her to say she's bad at marketing is shocking to me. Wow.
Because I don't market myself that much.
Okay.
And it's my goal for 2019 to promote myself shamelessly.
Those two words together are really important, guys.
Yeah.
Promoting yourself shamelessly. And I'm guilty of that as well. I'll post an event I'm doing, or I'll post a flyer, and I'll post it like once, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, that's enough.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to inundate
Be
people
in
with
somebody's
it.
face like the
But
whole time.
That's where you need to be, is in their face, because you think about jingles that you've heard that have irritated you. Like, okay, enough already with this jingle on
But
the
they've been in
radio.
your face.
And guess what? You're humming it when you're seasoning your food or walking down the street, because they got it in your
face,
head.
yeah.
So that repetition, as we know, repetition, it makes impact, is really important. So I'm with her. if you're in business, one, brand yourself and figure out what that means. That means to know what your message is.
Know what you're doing. Know who you are.
Know
just
who
know
you
where
are.
you want to go. Sometimes you don't know where you're going, but you know where you want to go. It's two completely different things.
I like that. And then the other thing is, market yourself shamelessly. Shamelessly. Put it out there like you know everybody wants to see this and everybody wants to hear this, because I've been in direct marketing for years, and one of the things they teach you, it's like, I don't know, I think it's like the 16th or 20th time someone sees something that they're like, okay, this is like, let me pay attention to this now. Yeah, so the one time, you know, you need to see it more than that.
More than once.
And now after the Crowned Confidence, I love that. Crowned Confidence brunches. So we're here in Toronto.
And then we're in Florida.
And in Florida. And you'll find all of her information on RouchelleReign.com.
Or MissLegacy.com.
MissLegacy.com. On Facebook, on Instagram. You are Roushelle Reign, spelt because she's fabulous. Roushellele. And it's not even that far off. It's not like she put a bunch of K's and Y's in.
I know.
Right? Like, it's okay. But then after that, when is the Miss Legacy? And now you know, like, that's on my list too, right?
Yeah.
Like, I need to come. I
Everybody
have
can
to
come
go
and watch.
to
No
Jamaica
worries.
and go to Miss Legacy.
No worries.
And
I'm trying to make it into a destination pageant. So you see, like, how everybody flies and goes to Miss Universe, everybody flies and goes to Miss World just to sit and watch. That's how I want Miss Legacy to be. But I want the Caribbean to be of benefit.
See, I love that. And again, it all ties back into community. It all ties back into who she is. And I think that connection.
It takes a village.
Exactly.
It takes a village.
It takes a village. And, you know, as they say, when you leave home, you know, you gone far in and you forget. No, I didn't forget anything, because she keeps on going right back. You keep going right back home. You give all the accolades to where you're from, and you build in the community that you grew up in. And that's amazing. I heard about the backpacks and, you know, filling them up for the girls and really feeding into the young women that you meet that show the fire, that show the motivation.
And we'll be doing it again.
And you'll be
throughout
doing
the week of March 26th to April 1st. That's the pageant week. We'll be doing it somewhere, maybe the Friday or the Saturday. And we also have a big guest coming in from Manila, one of the biggest pageant trainers, McCoy Manalapas. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy.
Her face. She looks absolutely delighted.
I love McCoy. I love him. Yeah, he trains like Miss Universe and Miss World and all these people. So it's really great to have people of the Caribbean to just be in that room, just to learn from him, just to be there. Like, it's amazing.
The poise and the walk, and it, because there's like classes on that, right? Like how to walk in your heels.
He'll be training all the girls, not me this year. He'll be training all the girls this year.
That is amazing.
It's crazy. I haven't said that to anybody. But,
see, and that is her exclusive right here on What Matters. She let the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, I
did. I'm so pleased for you, and
thank you.
So thrilled to meet you. And this definitely will be. I'll be seeing you on the 24th at the brunch.
Yes.
Lots of pictures. Do look at my page, Erica Elita, on Facebook, on Instagram. I will be promoting whenever she promotes herself and markets herself. I will be sharing that, because it takes a village to make sure that we all rep correctly. And when we hook up and she becomes my brand strategist, you will see the tremendous difference in the representation, the visual representations, because I am my brand. Absolutely. Roushelle, thank you for blessing the audience with your personality, with your inspiration, with your enthusiasm in your life and the people's around you, and keep feeding into that. I know that there's going to be a lot of young women when they are interviewed on a platform like this and they say, who's your inspiration? Your name's going to be coming up.
I hope so.
It already is, as you know, it already is. Thank you so much for joining us for this edition of What Matters. I will be back next Tuesday, same time, same place. And next week, you know my guests are special, right? All 30, this is now episode 34. They have all been special. And after this, for the rest of February, I'm going to be focusing on Black history. She's actually Black present and Black future. So we're going to talk a bit about Black history. We're going to be doing a show on race relations. And then we're going to all tie it up at the end of the month with Andrew Blackwood. So join me every Tuesday this month. And then I have a special treat for you next month. So see you next week. Thanks for joining.
Toodles.